What is going on, Diablo 2 fans? Dobrunsky here, and today I'm going to be running through a new take on what I think, in my humble opinion, is the strongest melee character in Diablo 2, and that is of course the Paladin. I'm going to be running a max damage spec with this build, so the insane damage you can get with this character is unreal. Yes, it's a very expensive character, but I'm going to run through what I tweaked in this video compared to the previous build video that I did, and I think you guys are going to be pretty impressed with the damage output for this character. But yeah, timestamps will be in the description below, so if you want to bounce back and forth between certain segments of the video, they're there for you guys to use, so please take advantage of them. And also a quick reminder for those that don't know, if you guys do enjoy my YouTube content, I do stream twice a week on Twitch. Got the link for my Twitch channel in the description below, twitch/Dobrunsky125. Any follows over there would be very much appreciated. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Let's take a look.
Not even death can save you from me.
So I first want to spend a little bit of time talking about some of the pros and cons associated with the Paladin build. So first, starting off with the pros, the first major one is that the build has insane DPS. You have a ton of elemental damage from your synergized Holy Shock, as well as a ton of melee damage from Grief. So this works really well with handling physical immune monsters. So in comparison to, say, for instance, a Zealot, you're basically relying on the Mercenary and Decrep to break physical immunities. But if you run into a physical immune, you have your minus 150 Conviction Aura with your insane elemental lightning damage that you can just whack down and destroy. You run into a lightning immune that you can't break, which is going to be very far and few in between because of the insane Conviction Aura that you can get. I don't actually even know if you can run into a lightning immune with this build, but then you also have tons of physical damage that you can use to take out that build as well. So just two forms of insane DPS makes for a very strong character. The second major pro is that, again, you have two forms of damage, your high physical damage and your high elemental lightning damage. And the third major pro is that the build actually does have some form of AoE from the Holy Shock that pulses every 2 seconds. So there's not a lot of melee builds in the game that have AoE, so it's pretty cool that you have the combination of multiple sources of damage as well as a form of AoE damage with this build. And as far as the cons go, I'm going to be entirely honest, I only have one for this build. It's very expensive to make. That's literally it. You can get around with decent FCR right points and Enigma, so you have pretty good mobility. You can handle physical immunes, two forms of damage. The only really thing I got for you is it is a super expensive build that requires dual dreams to maximize its effect. So dual dreams, 2 jaws, very expensive rune words, and finding the bases can be a little bit challenging. You want that really nice 3 open socket Paladin shield with a lot of all-res. That's all I really got for you. Super expensive build. So as far as the attribute distribution goes, because I wanted to go with a max damage variant, I have nothing invested in energy, nothing invested in vitality, just enough strength to reach 75% max block with Holy Shield, and then every other remaining point is put into strength, so I have a total of 516 points. Again, max damage variant, we're sacrificing plus life for more overall damage. And for the res split, I have 75 fire, 51 cold, 85 lightning, and 38 poison. So the really nice thing about this setup is having that really high lightning resistance cap. Really just helps kind of knock out the damage from souls. You don't really have to worry about them too much. So moving on to the skill tree, first starting off with the defensive auras, I put 20 hard points into resist lightning and 20 hard points into salvation. That's because these two skills will synergize the level 30 Holy Shock that you get on your Paladin from using a Dream Helmet and a Dream Shield. And then for the offensive aura skill tree, I put 1 hard point into the following skills: Might, Holy Fire, Thorns, Holy Freeze, and Sanctuary, and then I put enough points to get a level 24 Conviction, which is minus 145% enemy resistances, and then the Battle Orders and Battle Command buff will bring that level up to level 25, which caps it out at minus 150, so that's the reason why I only put enough points to get 24 into Conviction. And then for the combat skill tree, I recommend that you put 1 hard point into the following skills: Smite, Holy Bolt, Charge, Blessed Hammer, and then Holy Shield. And then I put 20 hard points into Sacrifice, and then I put all of my remaining points into Zeal, which capped it out at 18 hard points. As I continue to level more, this character is only level 94, so technically I could get an extra 2 points into Zeal for a little bit more damage if I was to continue to level to 96. So as far as the gear goes, again, I tried to go with the very best possible setup that I found in single player, because I really want to demonstrate and showcase how powerful this build is. Starting off with the weapon, Grief and a Phase Blade. And then for the helmet and the shield, I have Dream. Again, dual Dream. The build doesn't exist without these two rune words. Dream and a Bone Visage, and then Dream and a Royal Shield. This is a 45 all-res shield base, so I didn't roll too good on the res, but that's okay. And then for the amulet, I have High Lords, Enigma for the body armor. Now, I have tried a Fortitude setup, but the tiny little bit of extra damage you get from Fortitude, it's not better because you can't reposition your Mercenary to get that Decrep proc, so you can charge around and, you know, get around with decent mobility, but not having Enigma just means your Mercenary is off doing dumb stuff, because we all know what Diablo 2 Mercenary AI is like, so that's why I went with Enigma. And again, the crazy amount of additional plus strength is more damage, so it's not necessarily a bad choice for this setup. Then I have Ravenfrost Ring for Cannot Be Frozen, String of Ears, a Dual Leech Ring, Laying of Hands for ED to Demons, Gore Rider Boots for Crushing Blow, Deadly Strike, and Opal Moons. Then I have different assorted max damage, attack rating, plus life, Grand Charms, and Small Charms, all the best ones that I have. And then a near perfect Annie and a near perfect Paladin Torch to just cap the res out, more plus skills, and really try and showcase the best possible Tesladin that I can. So for the Mercenary's gear, I decided to go with an Act 2 Nightmare Offensive Mercenary for the Might Aura for more damage. And then the rest of his gear, I have G-Face with the Ruby Jewel of Fervor, Treachery, and then Ethereal Reaper's Toll with the Ruby Jewel of Fervor. So the 15 IS plus the 15 here and the 45, that gets me the 75 IS breakpoint. So he's striking very fast and proccing Decrepify from Reaper's Toll. So that's going to help boost the physical portion damage of our Tesladin. So again, trying to make a very powerful character, I think that this is the best route to go. There is also, I should note, the option of going a max Fanaticism setup and then using Conviction Infinity Mercenary setup. That does work, but I personally like this one a lot better. Again, let me know in the comment section below if you've tried the other setup and you think it beats the one that I'm showcasing today. So finally, wrapping everything up with some gameplay, gonna do a Bale run. We're gonna go down on Players 1 difficulty, and then we'll ramp up to the highest possible setting that we can. Now, the cool thing about this setup is that there is... I'm just gonna teleport on the offhand to get a little bit more FCR with Spirit, so we can get around a little bit quicker. Yeah, for a really strong melee build, like, you can get around no problem. It's one of my favorite things about this setup. Now, let's take on some monsters. Now this is Players 1 difficulty, but... And again, these are lightning immune souls that we can break their immunity with Conviction. And then because we naturally have such a high enemy... Or sorry, because we have such a naturally high lightning resistance, souls don't really bother us. My favorite thing is just the ability to reposition the Mercenary. Just to get him to proc that Decrep Curse, again boosting the physical portion of this build. There's just so much elemental lightning damage and there's so much physical damage with this setup that it's just... really is a powerful character. We'll go down to Players 8. Players 8 difficulty. Go up to Players 8 difficulty, excuse me. Telly Stomp the wave. Try and get that wave... Let's say try and get the wave killed before we get that curse put on us. It's the worst part is getting the Decrep curse on us. Worst part for any melee build for doing Bale running. Again, Telly Stomp again. Another thing that I forgot to mention too about this build is the chance to cast Confuse. Just provides you with safety and crowd control as well. That's a chance to be unstruck with Dream. Now I know that the clear speed doesn't look the best, but remember we're getting our damage is literally getting nuked in half from Decrep from Bale, so I will pull the final 2 waves away from Bale, but this is the highest difficulty setting. And even with our damage being reduced in half, we're still mowing down everything solo. As if this was an 8-player group. Okay, so now we'll pull back. We will not be cursed by Bale this time. So wait for that curse to dissipate. Here's wave 4. The highest difficulty setting. No problem, solo, Players 8, no curse slowing us down or reducing our damage, 0 issues. We'll do the same thing again. Little bit of a close call there with their life. You might want to add a little bit of extra points of vitality, maybe get 2k life. 1400 is a little bit low to be doing solo players 8. But that's okay. We're just showing off the build. Now we'll do players 8 Bale. Kind of surprised by the lack of crushing blow hits that we've had. There's a few there that have gone off. But with the Decrep Curse and the slow from the cold damage from Ravenfrost and the successive hits, Bale can't cast any of his curses. He can't teleport, so it's just kind of, I'm just holding left click and sealing him down to 0 life. Again, hardest difficulty setting. We're not a Charge Strike Jabazon, but Bale went down. That was players 8 for every single wave, the highest difficulty. One little close call against Lister, but hopefully this kind of demonstrates how truly powerful this build is, and I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. But yeah, that's about it. Well guys, there you have it. That wraps up today's video. Again, let me know in the comment section below if you guys would tweak the gear at all, any kind of different way. I'd love to hear your feedback. I always do read the comments, and as always, if you could throw a like on this video, share it, and even consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. I post new weekly content on YouTube, and remember, I do stream twice a week on Twitch, so any follows on Twitch or subs on YouTube would be amazing. Other than that, guys, hope you have a fan-frickin-tastic day, and I'll catch you on my next video or live stream. Peace out.